All right, we're back on the porch for another edition of Mike Finds Things, where I go out in the wild and try to find cool old records at estate sales, occasionally, sometimes thrift stores, sometimes I pick up a record lot. This is an all estate sale edition, except for one record at the end that I got at a local thrift store. In fact, that thrift store I like to go to, that's pretty, it's not super close. It's close enough where I do go there quite a bit and often with my daughter, because she likes to look for other kinds of stuff like clothing and books and stuff. So this time I'm going to do the first two estate sales are ones that happen on Friday, and I went to one early in the morning, and I went to one right after. I'm going to do the one right after that first, since that's where the Beatles stuff is, because I'm going to do a thumbnail with Beatles this time. So so just so people don't think I'm like, it's like clickbait. There will be Beatles, and there's also some Dylan and some pretty rare Dylan and some other interesting stuff. And for the guys who like the really obscure stuff, we do have some psych, garage, and northern soul stuff you don't normally find with a little bit of value coming up in the second estate sale stack. And if you're just like classic rock, there's a lot of great classic rock mixed in. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Also, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments about some of these videos. I realize I've been doing those weird AI retro images for thumbnails lately. I just thought I'd give that a try to make it look a little different, which some of them actually came out pretty cool. This time I'm going to put the Beatles records because I might draw in some new viewers. So I'm being honest. I'm a very honest person. First one's from 1964, and I grabbed this because it was minty, and it was Dylan. I didn't even look up the pressing or anything when I was there. Turns out it's a very early Santa Maria mono pressing. Low of 850, mid of 25, high of 150. It's another side of Bob Dylan. And this thing, the jacket and everything are like absolutely beautiful on this one. This is one of those 2-eye Columbia mono pressings. And it's before they put the 360 sound. It's the one that says guaranteed high fidelity. I kind of went through a bunch of the different pressings. I'm pretty sure I got this one right. And I know some of the pressings of this go for quite a bit of money. But this one, I mean, I don't think you're going to find a cleaner copy just about anywhere unless it's like old store stock or something. I will say it was a really nice mid-century house over in the Arroyo, in the really nice part of Pasadena. And most of the records were like classical. And in fact, I don't think the guys running the sale, the story is like I went through all the records, and these were kind of hidden. Most of them were classical and stuff. A lot of people would have just said, "Oh, this guy just had classical." I just kept looking, and I found some interesting some stuff that would be of interest to my viewers, as I'm not really a classical music person. And when I went up to check out, one guy was like really eyeballing these old Hot Wheels, like to see where they were made and what year they were. One of the checkout guys. So I went to the other guy. And that guy yells at the other guy, "Hey, look, there was some Beatles in there." So I guess they didn't quite look hard enough to find Beatles, just assumed it was going to be all classical. And I think I was, even though I was like the number 44 in line into the sales, I think I had to be the first person to go through the records because these would have gotten pulled, especially the Dylan and the Beatles stuff. Okay, we're moving on. That's kind of the story. I like to give the story of some of these. The house was absolutely gorgeous, mid-century house. The times they are changing. Bob Dylan. I couldn't nail down the pressing on this one. It is an early mono press, and these do bring quite a decent amount of money. Bob Dylan. This one's another mono 2-eye Columbia. This one, I'm not going to pull it out. It's got the insert with the extra lyrics sheet on it. But I'm not going to try to pull it out while I'm filming the video. But you can see the label there. I couldn't nail down exactly which pressing this was. And believe me, I tried to figure it out because, like I said, some of these early Dylan albums are quite pricey. But like I said, that one's really nice. I was kind of really glad I grabbed those. I found them. I would have grabbed them. I was just like, oh, Dylan. And I knew it was ones I didn't have. So there you go. And I will say I did not pay, I think for all the records at this sale, I paid $35 total. So yeah, I did pretty good at this sale. This one is we're going to go into the Beatles now, for all you guys who tune in for Beatles. Yes, I do find Beatles occasionally. Usually when I go to sales, I'm usually the guy going through the 45s and 78s, unless there aren't any, and then I wander over the LPs usually after they've been looked over. But in this case, we found a gatefold UK stereo. The record's from 1964, but this is a repress from '69, is what I figured out, and the repress goes for between $20 and $40. Earlier pressings of this on Parlophone go for quite a bit more. It is a Parlophone EMI Beatles for sale. And this one has the Made in England sticker right there. So this is like all Beatles records. These have a lot of pressings. So we got Beatles for sale. Let me see if I can get the record out. If it will come out easy, I'll show it to you. This has they call this the 2-box EMI later Parlophone label. That's what I figured it out. That's how I figured out it was a pressing from 1969 from the UK. So and the other Beatles albums, I think a couple of them have really interesting pressings. Not your normal stuff. One is a later pressing of one of the albums that we're coming up on. Let's go to the second Beatles record. This is one I'm sure most of you have in your collection of a pressing of some sort of this, or even on CD. It's a 1967 mono pressing of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And I'm not going to try to nail down the pressing. It is a US pressing. It's not a UK. This one does have the inserts that are often missing. And, the inserts that I think you're supposed to cut them out, and you can make your shirt look like you're one of the members of the band. And funny story, my grandmother is actually was a silent film actress from the UK. She's one of the people on the cover, one of the pictures. So her name was Benny Barnes. I'll show you which one it is. It is a mono pressing. It is this style capital label for those who are really interested. But always good. I guess if you watch my videos on my old part of my collection, we already did the Bees, and I have several copies of Sgt. Pepper's already. They do pop up. Obviously, anybody getting into records again, they want to have Beatles records. And if you have Beatles records, you want to have Sgt. Pepper's. Let's face it. So that's one of the biggies. Here's one with a later stereo. This is a stereo version, a later Apple label pressing of Rubber Soul. So that was in there. But it's a very nice copy. Like, these are all in really nice shape from this sale. This guy, a lot of times classical guys will have Beatles records, and classical guys always kept their records pretty nice. And he had a really nice turntable too that I could not afford. You can see it is an Apple label pressing. US Capital. The only UK one of the Beatles was the Beatles for sale that we already saw. And I've got a stereo another one I have several copies of. I even have a mono version of this. Magical Mystery Tour. This is another US in stereo Capital. Got to double check. There's this one includes the 24-page full-color picture book. Now, if you don't know, I'm sure everybody knows this was like a TV movie it was like a soundtrack to a TV movie that kind of didn't go anywhere. I'm not going to tell the whole story. If you remember, I found it. I think it was an Australian pressing of. It was like a 7-inch with a couple 7 inches with a book of Magical Mystery Tour. I found a few years ago at a sale. There you go. That style Capital label in stereo. Said sometimes you'll start looking up some of these Beatles albums. You try to find the right pressing, and you just go. Just the Beatles for sale. I thought would be easy, and it was not. But I did. That was the only one I think I was able to track down. This one I was able to track down. We're out of the Beatles now. We're going on to Elvis. No, not that Elvis. We're going to Elvis Costello. We found the other Elvis before. We found Mr. Presley. Town Crier Imperial Bedroom 12-inch single. I believe it's a 45 RPM. UK, and apparently it was a limited edition. Sells for $1, low of $1, mid of $3, high of $9. So not a high value But I like Elvis Costello, and it's probably not one I'll ever see again because I don't think they ever did a U.S. press of that. Here's another Elvis Costello. This is a U.S. 1978. Album came out in 78. It's a U.S. press. It was sold new. It's even got check it out. It's got a licorice pizza, $3.09. I don't know if it's going to show. Licorice pizza. The movie was named after the old record store here in L.A. Licorice pizza, $3.99. That's cool in itself, and it has the nice price, a hype sticker. It is this year's model. That one's in very nice shape. So this guy's kept his records pretty nice. I had this. I think this is probably my nicest copy now. Plus, it's got that licorice pizza price tag, which kind of sweetens the deal. Because you wanted more Elvis Costello, we've got a 1982 U.S. press Imperial Bedroom album. This one's a little more banged up than the other one. Like it's got some. You'll see when I get to the back of the. It's got some dirt had gotten on there. Has the original inner sleeve with the liner notes on the inner sleeve. That was kind of a cool one to find. I didn't try to look up a value on that. So some of these are really tough when they did a lot of copies. Such as the next one, who's a very big artist. From 1980, a 2-album set, Bruce Springsteen, The River. And both records are in there, and they're both in excellent condition. But I did not have a copy of this, and now I've got a Minty copy, so I'm happy. I love Bruce Springsteen. What else we got? From 1984, we got a promo version of... I have this with the regular jacket, but this has the promo, like record company DJ jacket for like probably for radio stations. Danny Elfman, of course, from Oingo Boingo. I always loved Oingo Boingo. It's a 12-inch single of Gratitude. It's got the promo stamp. I believe it says it's promotional on here. And they did make a regular version of this. This might not be a promo necessarily. Okay, I'm trying to figure that out. They did have one with a regular jacket with Danny Elfman and the picture, and I have that one too. But this one was obviously sent out to radio stations. Or whatever, or whoever was reviewing it or whatnot. But Danny Elfman, Gratitude. Here's the 245s I found at that sale, which were included in that price I said earlier for all those. First one, they didn't have a lot of 45s. I think I bought the 245s I found. We got 1965 teen record. Couldn't find much about this one online. It's on Chattahoochee, which of course did the Midnighters. Party Crasher, the Half Sisters. You also find like the Mermaids, Popsicles, and Icicles on this. And B-side is Sweet Talk by the Half Sisters. This is like a teeny bopper. It's almost like a Leslie Gore-ish, if you will. Definitely inspired by like a Leslie Gore teen girl song. So it's kind of more like something closer to the Midnighters. I got something probably closer to Mermaids. But I took a chance. I think it said it had 7 wants and 1 halves on Discogs, so there's probably not a lot of those floating around. If you like those like teeny bopper girl songs, search it out. Here's another one we found. I always pick up this label, as I always mention. It's from '57, so it's after they changed. They made the label name shorter. A pop vocal, and has sold for $10 on Discogs. Like I said, 1 copy sold for $10. On Hollywood Records, The Crossroads of Life by Patty Casey. I find a lot of good stuff on this label, especially the earlier ones that are recorded in Hollywood. Then later on, I think in 53 or 54, they dropped the recorded in, and it just became Hollywood Records. Not to be confused with Disney's label, which came much later. They had a Hollywood Records. You Move Me, Patty Casey on the B-side there. To Hollywood Records. So I always take a chance on anything Hollywood or recorded in Hollywood label. All right, now we're going to get into the sale I went to before that. I did that one first because that's where the Beatles is. I didn't want anybody, I'm going to put there's Beatles albums in the thumbnail, like I said. We're going to go to some pretty cool Psych Garage, Northern Soul. This guy had 45s. Most of them are on Mercury label or Smash, which is a Mercury subsidiary label. So either he knew somebody worked at the record company, or he somehow was able to, maybe work for the record company. I don't know. Usually if they work for the record company, they'd have a lot more of these. And they're all from, I believe, 1968. So that's another clue. He had a lot of LPs. A whole bunch of LP guys got in there before I did. Now you'll see I only bought one LP, and you'll see why I bought it. It's not worth anything. But we're going to start out from 1968, and most of these have the original sleeves too. This one's a 1968 garage, rock and roll, pop-ish garage. Suzi Quatro was in this band. I had to look. I had to figure out why it was worth quite a bit of money. Low of 12, mid of 40, high of 133. This was actually a really fun song. That's on the regular version. On the promo version, which is what this is, low of 10, mid of 30, high of 55. And has a lot of wants on Discogs, so that's usually a good sign value-wise. And you can look this one was actually on YouTube, so you can actually look up listen to this on YouTube. Light of Love by the Pleasure Seekers. So it's pretty minty. And it's one of those where it's, so the DJ wouldn't mess up, they put the same song on both sides. Light of Love by the Pleasure Seekers. I guess it was Suzi Quatro's first band in Detroit, is what I did a little research on that one. Here's a really cool one. This is the only one that had like a little bit of damage. Also has the original sleeve. From 1968, it is a promo. The label had a little bit of dirt on it, so it's got like dirt on the label, unfortunately. And the record had a little bit. It looked like almost like a scuff, but it didn't affect the playability of it. I played both sides. This one has a low of 7, mid of 35 on Discogs, high of 44. The A side is Northern Soul. The B side is kind of like a cool, you could play it like in a lowrider set. It's definitely like a cool lowrider oldie soul song. So it's the Knight Brothers with Ghetto Joe. A name like that, is going to be a soul record. And the B side is Tried So Hard to Please Her. Again, that's the Knight Brothers. I wish this one was in a little better shape. Like I say, it does have a pretty good amount of value to it. Not a super dancing. It has a Northern Soul beat, but it's not like one of those crazy dancey ones. But you could like a Northern Soul DJ could definitely get away with Ghetto Joe in their set. Another Mercury original sleeve again. It's a 68 Psych record. Promo on it has a pink label, but it's still a promo. Has sold for $10. When you hear the name of the band and the song, you'll be like, yep. I just looked at it and went, that's a Psych record. And if it's not, you got me. Technicolor Thursday by the Chicago Loop. On Mercury. And we got Beginning at the End. So they're cool promo Mercury. On a pink label with the sleeve. And we're going to go, we got ones from Smash Records, which was a subsidiary of Mercury. First one's a psychedelic promo. Low of 6, mid of 10, high of 30 on this one on Discogs. I usually quote Discogs price, and I'll usually, if I find a sold comp somewhere else, I'll usually say it's from somewhere else. I don't think we had any from anywhere else on this video. We got the Tea Company with Flowers on Smash. This is also a white label promo. And Come and Have Some Tea With Me. This is the other side. Hey, I don't make this stuff up. I just find them at estate sales. There you go. Flowers and Come and Have Some Tea With Me. So, cool Psych record. Here's another Psych from 1968 on Smash with the original sleeve. We got a theme going here. From 68. This one, when you hear the name of the band and the song, you'll be like, yep, that's a Psych record. Low 6, mid of 8, high of 12 on this one. The San Francisco Earthquake is the name of the group, and the song is The March of the Jingle Jangle People. So, I better hold this so you know I'm not making this up. Bring Me Back a Little Water is the B-side. Guy must be thirsty after all that marching with the Jingle Jangle People. There you go. The San Francisco Earthquake. Okay, we got So you want another soul record? We got another soul record for you. 68, another one. Mercury label, white label, promo, original sleeve. You know the drill by now. Willie Hobbs with Action. Low of 8, mid of 10, high of 13 on Discogs on this one. And then the B-side is A Woman Like Her. So I got that one. I think that's the last of the ones that still had the original sleeve on the 45s. Okay, this is from the same sale again. A 68 Psych promo. Wow, we've heard that before. No sleeve though. Low of 5, mid of 7, high of 15 on Fontana Records. And, ooh, man, the name of this song is very psychedelic. It is the Castaways, which you guys know from Liar Liar. And it's Lavender Popcorn. There you go. Very, very psychedelic. And What Kind of Face is the B-side. Wow. Let's just say there were substances involved with the name of that B-side there. What Kind of Face. Here's one I like to pick up. We've found these before. You know this song. You love this song. I always like to show when there's like cool, like what I call entry-level records, like you're getting into garage or something. And there's I always say this is one if you probably need in your garage collection. You'll run across it eventually. This was such a minty copy. I snagged it, which I've said before probably about this record before when I found it previously. Low of a buck, mid of 5, high of 16. Ironically, they played it at a car show and filmed yesterday. And I almost put it in the video like, hey, I found a copy of that, but I was actually talking to somebody at the time. She's About a Mover, the Sir Douglas Quintet on Tribe. I love that cool basic label they have there. Distributed by London Records. There's like a bunch of label variations on this one too. The B-side is We'll Take Our Last Walk Tonight. So actually the DJ at the show played Mendocino, and he also played She's About a Mover. But I don't. It's just one of those songs that makes. I love that song. I always will love that song. So if I find another minty copy, I'm snagging it. We've got 178 in this video. That is it. 178, and this was at that sale, the second sale I went to on Friday. Delta Rhythm Boys, Dry Bones on Decca. This was actually like somewhat of a hit. This pressing. Low of 12, mid of 14, high of 16. This is like them bones, them dry bones, and the neck bones connected to the, and all that. And Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho. And it's got some background noise. It's not minty, but it plays fine. So I snagged that one. I don't think the records were like, I think they were even cheaper at this sale than they were at the other one. I think the other one, they were kind of angry that I found the Beatles and they didn't have a chance to put them somewhere else and mark them up really high. That's kind of the gist I got. This one, the record's kind of trashed, but I bought it for the cover. You know that I like to buy, I have jukeboxes and I like to buy album covers with jukeboxes, and I did not have this one. It's Tops and Pops on Bravo High Fidelity Records. Today's Jukebox Parade of Hits, and it's got a couple grooving to the tunes on a Seaberg Model B 100 Selectomatic. So there's that. And I think the record was kind of trash, but like I said, it was actually, it's not that bad. It was Bobby Crane Orchestra and Chorus, which they didn't put on the cover, which should tell you how popular he was. It actually says it right here. It's like in fine print. So it's just one of those like, cheesy, budget records. But it's got a jukebox on the cover, so that's why I snagged it. Another sale I went to a few days earlier than that. It was the last day of the sale. I think I happened to be in the area for something else, which I can't remember what it was now. And I found a cool, like, deck chair with the footrest. And the guys, they're like just blowing stuff out. And I was just walking through the house. I looked over and he's like, oh, just give me $20 for the chair and the footrest. I get home, that chair goes for $300 and the footrest goes for $90. New. It's actually in good condition. So I've been using that, and it's a really comfortable deck chair. I don't remember what the brand is, but we're not a deck chair channel. But at the same sale, I spent $20 on that. I think I spent $1 each on these records. which they're nothing incredible, but I got The One That You Love by Air Supply. I said the yacht rock stuff's getting popular, man. So I didn't look up a value on that. I didn't even look up the year. I mean, it's a $5 or $10 record. Let's just leave it at that. Air Supply, Lost in Love. This one's got a little damage to the sleeve or the jacket. So we'll call that like a $4 record. And we got from the same sale, same era, but a little more new wave, Thompson Twins, Here's to Future Days. So we'll Lay Your Hands on Me, King for a Day, stuff like that. I always like to pick up all the new wave stuff. I grew up on those. So we got that. And then the one record I bought at the thrift store I like to go. Like I said, they raised their prices to $3. This one was priced at $2 for some reason still, but it was one they just put out, and it's a minty one, but it's one you're probably going to come across in your travels. And you know, I like the surf music and I like the instrumental rock stuff. So this is sort of surf adjacent, if you will. Twangin' the Golden Hits, Dwayne Eddy. So it's almost like a greatest hits compilation of Dwayne Eddy. Dwayne Eddy records come up all the time. He did a lot of film themes too. This one's got Rebel Rouser, Raunchy, Last Date, his version of Theme from a Summer Place, his version of Tequila, his version of Stranger on the Shore, and so a lot of stuff like that. It's got his version of Rumble, which I don't know how that holds up to Link Ray's. I haven't put that one on yet, but this is a mono pressing. They did do this in stereo. They did do a stereo version, but this is a mono pressing, which on the earlier songs you're going to want the mono version anyway, rather than the redone stereo version. So that's what I got for you this week on Mike Feinstein. I think this one's going to post the week I'm out of town filming. I'll be filming car shows for my other channel, which is my name, Mike Frankovich. I film car events. I'll be out at Hot Rod Power Tour. So I've got car shows on Saturday, Sunday that weekend. Hot Rod Power Tour Monday through Friday. And then I got more stuff the Saturday, Sunday after that locally. So that's going to be a busy week for me. So this will fit in nicely there. I hope I have time to go find some more stuff. This week, I have not seen any good sales posted yet, except for on Saturday when I'm filming for the other channel. So I'll see what I can pick up. If not, we'll do another dive into whatever letters we haven't done in my old part of my record collection. So make sure you like the video. Hit subscribe if you haven't done so. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, man. I think we're about 50 away from getting monetized on this channel, which they show you the ads anyway. It just means that I get paid a little bit for them. And also leave some comments. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.